Hi, I'm Michelle Bege with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia. Which Latin American country recently suffered a leak from its government database revealing the personal information of hundreds of journalists? We'll have the answer later. Weather conditions are making forest fires a big challenge in Latin America. In Argentina, a fire in Los Alerces National Park, an UNESCO World Heritage Site, has charred about 600 hectares. The Patagonia region at the country's southern tip is normally a cold and windy region, but it has had temperatures top 40 degrees Celsius this summer. Meanwhile, in Colombia, forest fires in the nation's capital last week increased air pollution levels. Authorities called for health precautions, such as asking schools near the active fires to hold virtual classes. The Ministry of the Environment says the fires have devoured more than 17,000 hectares since November. President Gustavo Petro has requested international aid to fight over a dozen forest fires across the country. Protests in Peru are blocking access to the popular heritage site Machu Picchu. Locals are angry over a new ticketing system through electronic sales. They say it will hurt local businesses by privatizing. The system will direct ticket profits through one single firm. Travel unions, residents, and tour operators are on an indefinite strike. The Peruvian government says they will not budge against what they call mafias, who handle the traditional ticketing sales. Meanwhile, tourists are being left stranded as protesters block the railway lines. Now let's go to my colleague Al Baverstock, who has a special report.
Bullfighting is back in Mexico, and with it the controversy that surrounds it. A 2022 court ruling saw a suspension of organised events in Mexico, which was overturned by the Supreme Court on technical grounds late last year. That permitted a return to the world's largest bull ring, the Plaza Mexico, where a sellout crowd of 42,000 people were in attendance last Sunday. They were met by protesters outside the arena who attempted to block the entrance to the stadium. The bullfight went ahead as planned, but the activity was suspended again 4 days later by a Mexico City judge, pending a court hearing on February 7th. Now, a lengthy legal battle and even a possible national referendum on the blood sport make the future uncertain for Mexico's matadors.
And check out the images of these 130 poisonous frogs that were being trafficked illegally. A Brazilian woman was arrested in Colombia's Bogota airport after the poisonous animals were found in her luggage. They were discovered in small film canisters, dehydrated and stressed out. Local police say these amphibians can fetch up to $1,000 each. Now let's see what stories we're following for next week. We're following the elections in Venezuela that will take place later this year. This week, Venezuela's Supreme Court Justice Tribunal upheld a ban which prevents opposition candidate Maria Corina Machado from holding office for the next 15 years. Machado, a former lawmaker, won the opposition primary last October with more than 90% of the vote. That made her the strongest candidate from the opposition party to challenge longtime leader Nicolás Maduro in the presidential elections. The decision to disqualify her has been met with criticism from the international community. And now the answer to our news trivia. The answer is B. Mexico's president promised an investigation into the hacking of a government database. The information breach included the personal information of several hundreds of journalists, including their phone numbers and addresses. Media rights activists have expressed concern because the nation is one of the most dangerous places for the press. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador blamed his political adversaries for the leak and promised support to everyone on the list. And that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon on Latin America Now.